So we've got two more examples here. Example 3 is a little bit more involved. We actually have to make sure we understand what the question's asking us to do. So we've got a situation here where office equipment is being purchased for $5,400. It's anticipated that it will last for 10 years and have a scrap value or market value of $1,800. Determine the percentage flat rate depreciation per year, correct to 2 decimal places. Now, we actually need to work out the actual annual depreciation in dollars for this office equipment. So the annual depreciation in dollars is going to be the purchase price, subtract the scrap value or the market price, divided by the number of years we've kept the office equipment. So we're told that it's purchased for $5,400. The scrap value is going to be $1,800 and we're keeping it for 10 years. So that means that it's going to lose $360 per year. So that would be a flat rate model. Now, we also need to work out the percentage flat rate. So the percentage flat rate is going to be the annual depreciation divided by the original purchase cost times by 100, which is going to give us 6.67%. So what this is telling us is this office equipment is going to lose 6.67% of its value each year. In the last example, we've got a reducing balance method question here. So we've got an item of equipment, costs $200,000 to purchase and decreases in value by 20% each year. Now, because it's reducing by 20%, so this is now going to be a geometric progression type question. So here we've got if Bn is the book value at the end of the nth year, write down a recursive rule for the book value after n years. So the book value for the next year is going to be, now it's decreasing by 20% each year, so that means that 80% of the value remains, so it's going to be 0.8 times by Bn, and the initial cost of the equipment, or the initial book value, is going to be 200,000. Again, it's B0 because B1 would represent the book value after 1 year. Determine its book value at the start of the 5th year. So that can just be done in the class pad. So we can go into sequence and we can just put that into our class pad, making sure, of course, that we've selected the right type. Generate our sequence, and we can see that the book value after the 5th year is going to be $65,536. We can then ask various sorts of questions. So we could say, well, the company decides to sell the item of equipment in the year when its book value first falls below 20,000. In which year will they sell the equipment? So again, our class pad comes in handy here. So we can scroll through that last column and we can see that after 9 years and after 10 years, it's still worth more than 20,000. So I'm going to have to extend my table here. And I can see that by the 11th year, the book value has fallen below $20,000. So that's going to be selling it in the 11th year. Okay, last little bit. So it's important to realize that we can see the connection between these two different types of depreciation and what type of sequences they are. So as we said, straight line or flat rate depreciation can be modeled using an arithmetic sequence, and reducing balance depreciation can be modeled using a geometric sequence. Okay, so now you can get started with the exercise.